To everyone, lecture number 5, University of Basra, College of Arts, Department of Translation, third stage, consecutive interpretation. Before we begin our lecture, we would like to give you idea that in the previous time we are talking about the stage of consecutive interpretation, or we can call them the main actions, which are number one, listen actively or understanding, we call it. Number two, analyzing or take structures notes. That is very important to do this action. Number three, reproduce or communicate. So these are three main actions in consecutive interpretation, which we are talking about in last time or last lecture. We are mentioned about the understanding, and we also take one lecture about reading. So in this time we try to give you about re-expression, which is reconnected with the reproduce communication. Re-expression in consecutive interpretation, in order to, before we reform or re-express any idea, re-expression of any idea, we should understanding and analyzing that text or what the speaker is talking about. So it is very necessary to understand what the speaker is talking about, or what's the main idea, what is the speaker is mentioning, and what is the main idea that the speaker is talking about. So without these two actions, we cannot re-express the idea that we'd like to convey. It must be clear that they are not required to give an academically perfect translation. Their role is to make sure the speaker is understood by the audience. So the audience or the other people who are speaking or who are sitting there also, they understand what the interpreter is talking about. He should recognize, he must recognize what the public speakers, and he should understand, and he should using his eye contact with the audience. That's the eye contact as a process is very essential and very important for any interpreter. So the general gist of the speech will be conveyed also by means of correct use of changes or pauses in tone in order to enliven the performance. The tone is very important. The tone of the speaking also is important in consecutive interpretation. Beside that, at the end of this lecture, we see that there are many steps that any interpreter must take in, or must be update. How the interpreter updating his information in order to continue with good interpretation. He must do four things. A, he must be informed about the latest national, international events with the purpose of learning new terminology. So this is very important. B, as we see that, consequently enrich one's general vocabulary and style through regular reading of a broad range of written publication in all working languages. So the interpreter must always be updating his reading throughout many books or many magazines or newspapers. C, he must follow the press in one's native language too. This is particular importance for interpreters living abroad. That he must return to the information, or to the press, to the newspapers that's published in his own language. And the last things, following watch television, see movies, go to the theater, listen to songs on their original language. So any interpreter must also listen to the movies or go to the theater in order to see and listen to songs in order to take new things of language. The last one, take advantage of all the possible resources available in their working language in order to reach an effective, clear, elegant level of performance. This is the end of lecture number 5. Thank you very much for listening to me. Bye.